Just imagine, you're working at your desk and suddenly your boss rushes in and he throws a document in front of you and he starts shouting and yelling at you like, "Do you call this a project initiation document? Where did you get your degree? It's filled with mistakes and typing errors. How is it possible? You never can do anything right," and so on and so on. We could call this criticism. We could even maybe call this like a personal attack. And it's only very few people that would call this feedback. Although, and this is what I'm going to share with you, when you start considering this feedback, you could call it even like growth hormones for your personal growth, at that moment you can do something with it. Because if people start attacking you, start criticizing you, it is not comfortable at all. And most people don't have any efficient reaction to it. Let's be honest. If someone insults you that way, even your biology at that moment will protest. And then you get into one of the two modes, one of the two biological survival modes, which is the flight or the fight reaction. Either you start having an argument with your boss and you throw the document back in his face or her face, either you just go back to your seat and you go like, okay, I'll change it. And you display some subassertive behavior. Neither of them is the best way to solve this. So what I'm going to share is that there is a specific technique, a specific strategy that has been invented by an American psychotherapist. Her name is Anne Linden, and that might be useful in this specific situation. Because what we're going to try to do is to consider it as kind of feedback, not take it personal, not really take in all the negative energy from this criticizing message. Now, in order to do that, I need to explain a bit about Anne Linden's 3 strategies. There is one strategy that is about making a wall. And if you have a wall between yourself and the person giving you the message, at that moment, you never take in anything. Not the energy, which is a good thing, you could say. Not the energy, but neither the message behind it, neither the good feedback. I mean, if there are spelling mistakes, okay, you need to correct them. So at that moment, you build a wall and there's nothing penetrating. There's nothing coming through at all. So this is not the most optimal strategy you can use. The second strategy Anne Linden talks about is having boundaries. And the third strategy is having no boundaries at all. Having no boundaries at all wouldn't be the best strategy either. Because if you don't have any boundaries, you take in everything. You take in the negative energy. You take in the generalizations. You can never do anything right, which is not true. You take in everything the other person says, which makes you feel very unhappy and even more likely to get into your flight or fight mode. So the best strategy would be to have boundaries, to have some healthy boundaries. And you can even envision it a bit like this way when you can pass the frontier, for instance. Well, you can open it and let something pass, or you can close it, the barrier, okay? So boundaries can be symbolized by having a barrier. And my advice would not be to physically start doing this during a conversation, but at least have an image of it, an image of you doing that and using these barriers. So at that moment, when the boss comes in, launches the document on your desk, how is this possible? You close your barrier, you keep your boundaries safe, you close the barrier for his energy. So if he says at that moment, where did you obtain your degree? Can it help me? No, I close the boundary again. If he says at that moment, it's like 10 typing errors or spelling mistakes on the first page, at that moment it would be worthwhile to open your barrier and to let it in, to let it penetrate, because then it can help you. Now, what is the main golden question, the $1 million question you could say, is when do I use my barrier? When do I open it? When do I let someone cross my boundaries? With which kind of information? The $1 million answer there would be only the things, only the feedback, the criticism, in which way it is formulated, only that feedback that makes you a better version of yourself, that allows you to become a better version of yourself. So at that moment, when you hear generalizations, you can never do anything right, you close it, because generalizations never help you to become a better version of yourself. Where did you obtain your degree? You close it, because These kind of stupid remarks and comments, they do not help you become a better version of yourself. But if he then shares, oh, but there are 10 spelling mistakes on the first page, you can open it. Because taking that part of the feedback in will help you to make a better document, a better report, make you help improve your work. So at that moment, be very conscious, be very aware of what you let penetrate through your boundaries, yes or no. Choose only those things that help you to become a better version of yourself. And be compassionate towards the person that is bringing or communicating this kind of feedback. He or she has probably never learned that there is a huge distinction between criticism and feedback. But you must be smarter than that. Use your boundaries.